This is the real model, and I am finally back with another YouTube video, you guys. And this is going to be a story time, actually. So this story time is about my worst date. The fuck ever. Like, let me tell y'all, this date was literally terrible. Like, it was just like, if I could rate it out of 10, I would say the beginning was about 9.5, and then when the date was ended, it was about a negative 10. Like, that's how I felt towards the end. I just felt like, what the fuck. Of course, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on, like, my date. So at the time, I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was about 15. And my boyfriend, he was probably 16 or 17 at the time. He's about a year and a half older than me. So, that doesn't really matter because my parents already knew who he was, and, they already met him. But, it was a miscommunication thing. So let's get into the story. So we were both in high school. We did not go to the same high school. So, usually, people get to see their girlfriends and boyfriends if they have one, at school because that's where you mostly meet them at. But that wasn't my case because I met him when I was in middle school. So it was a little bit harder to see him. So the only thing that we really did was FaceTime and, we saw each other when we could. So being as though we saw each other when we could, I used to like tell him like, well, like I miss you a lot. Like I really want to see you, and when can I see you again? Because it's been like 2 months since I seen him, and that was our relationship. Like we would not see each other for literally months, but we were still together. So he's like, and this was when he like actually moved further away from me in the state. So like we were like at least 25 minutes away from each other driving, but we could not drive because we were too young at the time. So that made it even harder. Excuse me. Gosh, excuse me. So after that, um, he tells me I can see him and that we can go out to eat after we get out of school. And he rode two buses to see me. So like he must have really liked me, really liked me. He caught two buses to see me, and I was just like, I got off of school, and as soon as I got off of school, like I was like so excited like to see him. So I was just like, let me change my clothes. Like I don't want to wear this on my date. And that's what I did. And I was like literally on a mission. Like I'm going on this date. So I think I told my parents that I was going outside. I didn't tell them that I was going to Buffalo Wild Wings. I didn't tell them anything. I just said I was going outside. And the reason why I told them I was going outside was because they never really let me go out much. Like that's the only place I was really allowed to go was outside. Like I couldn't go over my friend's house. I had to stay in the neighborhood, and that was about it. Like you don't no, it was no roaming around. Like you stay where you stay, I need to see you, they checked up on me, that's the type of parents I had. I never really stayed out much. Like I never really got to go out much during high school at all. Like I had friends, and, they used to hang out during the weekends, but I never was able to really do that much. Like, I just wasn't. My parents were very strict, and they wanted me in the house. So, me not being able to go out much, I just felt like, why even tell y'all where I'm going if y'all going to tell me no anyway, and I'm not a bad child, and I don't lie a lot unless it's a good reason to. And I felt at the time that was a good reason to lie and tell them that I was just going outside. And I did. And I told my twin sister where I was going, and maybe I shouldn't have did that because she told on me. Anyway, so we meet up, and I'm like so happy to see this boy. Like every time I saw him, like I got butterflies. So when I saw him, like it was just like, oh, like I just was very happy. Like I was glowing and all. We walked to the Buffalo Wild Wings, and we order our drinks. Our drinks come, and I get a few sips, literally sips of my drink. That's all I got. And I'm looking at him, we're talking, and his eyes just get big like this. Like, you see how big my eyes are? His eyes aren't even that big, but his eyes was that big because he saw my father. So I'm just like, what is he looking at? Like, and then like I look like that and I see my father, and my dad is literally grabbing me like, get your ass and let's go. And let me tell y'all, that was the most embarrassing moment in my fucking life. Okay? Excuse my cursing, but that was so embarrassing. He literally dragged me out of the Buffalo Wild Wings because I wasn't supposed to be there. After I got dragged out of the Buffalo Wild Wings by my father, he gave me a whole lecture on how I lied and how I shouldn't be out where I'm not supposed to be. And I'm just like, Dad, at the end of the day, I was outside. Like, I don't really see nothing wrong with what I did. Like, and he was just like, you lied about where you were at. That's what you did wrong. And I'm just like, but I was just at Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, I was literally up the freaking street. So I just felt like his argument was just not valid at the point. And, I still feel like the argument is not valid because I lied about where I was going. But, at the time, I really felt like he was worth it. Like, obviously he thought I was worth it if he rode 2 buses to come and see me and he was paying for my food. And, he took time out of his day to come and see me. Like, we were 15 and I didn't even know how to ride the bus that well at the time. So I just felt like if he can come all the way down here from like all the way over there to come see me, what's wrong with telling a little lie saying that I'm going to be outside? I mean, technically I was outside. So as I'm growing and I see that some of my friends have children, and I see their perspectives towards their kids and how much they love their kids, I can see that my dad literally loves me to death and he would do anything for me. And what that needs to say is things happen for a reason, and I feel like my dad, he might have overreacted a little bit, maybe even just a lot to me, but I still love him, and I'm still a daddy's girl no matter what. I just feel like maybe I should. You live and you learn. I tell you this, I never lied to my dad about where I was at after that.